Hi everyone, this is the tutorial for board. My name is Billy from Piano and Pies. Let's get stuck straight in. So just before I start, there is a lot of picking going on with this, a lot to remember. If you are interested in getting all of the tab for this song from start to finish, head on over to Patreon. There's a link in the description. More about that later. Let's dig in with the start of the song, which we're counting in groups of 6. We don't start on the first beat, and what we do is play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What I'm doing is playing 3 on the top string with 4, 4 on the D and G. And the other chords are the same shape. I'm using these fingers. Middle finger on your E string, fret 7, and then on the D and G, fret 7 with those two fingers. So I've got rest, and then I take the same shape from fret 5 and put it up to fret 7. I then get this gorgeous chord, which is 7 on the A string, 6 on the D, 7 on the G, 6 on the B. And that holds for the full bar, so we've got rest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we get some picking, and I'm going to get my plectrum, and we have, which is an open A string, 5 on the G, 5 on the B, 7 on the high E, and then going back down to the 5 on the B and 5 on the G. And then we have 5 on the A, 5 on the G, 4 on the B, 6 on the high E, before going down to the 4, 6. So, very awkward shape, but get used to that because we're going to see that a few moments later higher up on the guitar. But just before that, we have this shape next, which is 5 on the D, 4 on the G, 3 on the B, 5 on the high E, 3 on the B, and back to 4 on the G. Now I am going to have a bit of a playthrough of that verse in just a moment, but I'm going to show you each individual bar first so you can get the right shapes. The next part is what I mentioned earlier, that shape but higher. 7 on the A, 7 on the G, 6 on the B, 8 on the high E. You can see I'm going from that low string up and then back down. That's going to be a really common theme in this song. We then unfortunately have a little bit more, so yeah, the tabs that you see on the screen is available online on Patreon, just a couple of dollars, so check it out. Because the next part is different yet again. We have 5 on the E string, 5, 5, 7, 5, 5. Before going to, which is 8 on the D, 8 on the G, 8 on the B, 10 on the high E, and then back down. So slowly I'm going to play through that full verse. I'll go slower than what the actual track is so you can really see how my hands are moving from one shape to the next. And then we have a second verse, which you can see on the screen is the first part of the first verse. We then just cut off that early and then go to the chorus. Now the chorus has some chords that we're going to play. Now it's quite quiet on the track, so it's hard to see exactly what they're playing on the track, but the chord shapes we have for that in the start of the chorus is this, which is 3 on the E string, 4, 4 on the D and G, and then we've got a 3 on the B string as well. I'm just barring that with fret 3. That's for the first bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we have a B minor bar chord, which is barring fret 2 from the A string, with a 4, 4, and 3 on the D, G, and B strings. Then we have this A minor 7 type chord, which is 5, 5, 5, and 5 on the E, D, G, and B strings, before going to 5, 4, 5, 4 on the A, D, G, and B strings. So let me play through that first part of the chorus so you can see how it all comes together. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now the next part of the chorus is really, really full on. So we've got this pattern where we repeat basically everything twice for the most part, which is 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. We then move everything up to 8, 8, 9. Notice how I'm playing from the E, B and G string. You're going to see that throughout all of this section. We then move that same shape up to 10, 10, 11. So up to now we have then keep your hand where it is, add 11 to the high E string whilst keeping everything else the same. And then up to 14, 15, 14. So that's the first half of this faster section. I'll play that slowly. We then have a little bit more. You can see on the screen we have 14, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 11, 12, 12, then back to 12. So it's always 12 and 12 on the B string and G string, but the high note changes to 14, 12, 11, then back to 12. And then we have this little rundown, which is 10, 8, 7, 5, before finishing the chorus with 5 on the A string, 4 on the D, 5, 5. So as I mentioned to earlier, we've got the tab on the screen, and I mentioned that you can get it over on Patreon. So remembering this song is going to be pretty hard. There's lots and lots of parts going on. So if you want the full tab for the full song in one handy PDF for just a couple of dollars, head on over to my Patreon page. There is a link to that in the description. There's a ton of perks. You'll notice at the end there's people's names on the screen. You'll get that perk, as well as access to over 200 songs that I've made for all the latest releases over the past few years. So check that out. Now, just before we start to repeat everything again, there is a post-chorus. And what we do, we basically take some of the chords that we've worked on and arpeggiate it a little bit. What I mean by that is take the G major shape. So I'm playing 3 on the E string, 4 on the G, 3, 3 on the B and E string. I'm barring that chord. And then moving this shape up a little bit to 7 on the E, 7 on the G, 7 on the B, with a 5 on the high E. Then 5 on the E, 5 on the G, 5 on the B, with a 7 at the top. And then I've got this shape here. And then it stops for a beat, which is 5, 5, 4, 5. So I'm going to play through the post-chorus once through slowly so you can see how all of that fits together. Then we'll talk about the next part of the song. We now get to the next verse, which is the third verse, and thankfully it is largely the exact same thing again. However, at the end of the verse, what you're going to do, you'll hear this A chord, which is the 5, 5, 5, 5, it's the A minor 7 shape, going to that shape there, 5, 4, 5, 4. And then we get into the second chorus. Speaking of which, that chorus is exactly the same, so we're going to skip past that, and we're going to get to the bridge, which changes yet again, so it might be worth getting that PDF, because there's an absolute ton of different parts going on here. And the bridge section is back to our really fast finger-picking part. So that is a really fast part. I'm playing the E, B, and then G string over and over with 5, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, and then 0, 3, 1, 0, 3, 1. It then carries on with a bit of a repetitive part. Get your finger on 1 on the E string, 0 on the B, and 1 on the G, because we play that twice. Release that finger, and then back on, and then back off. And that's the first part of the bridge. Now again, it's quite hard to hear exactly what's happening on the track, but the chords for that are A minor, which is that shape we had earlier, 5s all the way down the guitar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then move it all up to fret 7, that's a B minor. It then turns into B major. So it's gone from B minor to B major, which is really interesting, that chord, which I'm playing as a bar chord. 7, 9, 9, and then you've got an 8 there, and then 7 picked up by the bar finger. And then an E minor 7, which you can see on the screen, 7, 9, 7, 8, 7. We then go back to the A minor shape, up to that B minor, back to the B minor, and then 5, 4, 5, 5, this D dominant 7 shape. And then we finally get back to a chorus, which we repeat from the previous chorus. We are almost to the end, so we now have an outro, and the outro is just taking some chords and basically arpeggiating them. It's very, very similar to what you've seen in the post-chorus, but let me run through it. So we have, in fact that is the same chord, so the G, which is 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, 4. We then go up to this shape, before going to the 5, 5, 5, 7, 5, 5, and then the fourth chord, and you got that shape as well. You're going to loop that round 2 times, and on the last time, let it all sustain, let it ring out, then the vocals will end the song. It's such a beautiful ending, I really like it. So, in a nutshell, that is the song. There are so many different parts going on, and I'll admit it's very, very tricky to get through all those shapes. If you are interested in, let's say, a kind of a beginner-friendly version, leave a message in the comments below, and I'll consider making it, because there are some easier ways that we could play this, which will still sound good for the track. However, please consider getting the extra material on Patreon. You can get the tabs right out professionally, and it saves you from writing it out, potentially making a mistake. I also want to say thanks to the people on the screen. Those are my active patrons. So the moment this video goes live, they will get the tabs straight away. So thanks to them for their support. Thanks to you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.